everybody, I am the Reading Tortie and welcome back to my channel. Today we'll be doing the topic of discussion for Dreams of Joy by Lisa C. Cover should appear here. So, as stated in my book review, I had a really interesting experience with this book in that I went through a lot of emotions that I normally wouldn't go through with a book that I expected it to be good. I'm like, oh, a coming-of-age adventure story, you know, self-searching and all that good stuff. But I felt a whole lot of different things that I didn't expect, which is good. And for the topic of discussion, I want to talk about 3 things that really, really stuck out to me in this book. To this day, I think about it all the time. And let's begin. So one of the things that really stuck out to me was Dunn explaining to Pearl about the tradition of paper burning and how back in the day, he used to, paper collectors used to go around to amass all of the paper for the nobility and the common class and the merchants and things like that. And at the end of the year, they used to set it all on fire to kind of put back into existence the words that were written down, and then their ashes were spread through a river so that those words can be reborn as new words. And as a writer, that really, really resonated with me. I think it's beautiful. And when I heard that, I'm like, I need to do that. So I've actually started collecting everything I write down that I'm like, oh, drafts or poems or things like that I'm discarding or that I've already written the final version of. I've started collecting them so that I can eventually burn it legally in a little fire pit. And I want to do that so that those words will be released as smoke. And I'll probably throw some incense in there too because it's spiritual and stuff. And so those words can be released and eventually reborn as better words. Because I also am of the belief that the spoken word has a lot of strength. And to me personally, if I speak something, it has taken on an entity and existence and energy of its own that can be good or can be bad. And if it's bad, I usually burn some incense and I say a prayer to expel negativity. But I really liked the idea of burning the words that you've written in the hopes that it will be reborn as more words and that they will be released because those words have already had their go. They already had their purpose in existence. And it's time for them to be put to rest and wait for the rebirth of them. And to me, that was really magical and really, it resonated so much with me. So that really stuck out to me. Probably didn't stick out to like anybody else, but to me, it was something really important and it really changed my own habits. So I thought that was really cool. The second thing that really stuck out to me is the way Dunn protected everybody with his life. Towards the end of the book, when everything is going on, what Dunn did so that everybody else could escape was really something I did not really see coming. And when that happened, I kind of stopped. I'm like, no, you can't do this. Like, what are you doing? Stop. Like, let's all go. And I wanted it to happen that he would somehow go with them and they could all escape together, but they didn't. Not really spoilers, but just so you know, he didn't. And when that happened, I felt so sad. And I felt like I had just left a part of me with Dunn, wherever he was going to be and where he was going to go. And I felt like, okay, I'm done with the book. I can't continue this after everything that I've put up with this book. This can't end this way. And I felt so angry and emotional about it. And it was just really emotional. And then when Pearl's like, we have to keep going, I realized, Tortie, you have to keep going. You can do this. Let's see how it ends. And I had to see it through to the very end because that crucial, pivotal moment to me, it killed me. I'm like, no, we can't do this. And I was panicking and I was terrified. And I'm like, no, you like taught me about paper burning. You can't do this. And it was just really desperate. It's like I was leaving a friend and I was abandoning a friend. It was really emotional. But that really, really stuck out to me. The other thing that stuck out to me is the very end with Tomming. And if you've read the book, you know what that is. And that is what brought me to tears, and that is what made me cry. And I'm just like, oh my god, this is so beautiful. So I won't talk about it because it's at the very end. But for those of you who've read it, that moment at the very end with Tom Ing, my soul. Seriously. And the last thing that really stuck out to me, forewarning, this is actually very disturbing, was the starvation and cannibalism of the book. So during the famine, there's a thing that some people did that I believe was called swap babies eat meat. And just saying that, I get a chill. Cannibalism is not anything new to me. Have you read Exquisite Corpse? Because I have, and I loved it. So to me, having cannibalism in a story is like, it's cool. I write about it all the time. So it's not really anything that I'm extra sensitive to. But what really did it for me at this one was the depiction of famine. I have read about famine pretty well. I'm into historical fiction. There are famines all over the place in history. But the way it's done in this book is so chilling and haunting. I had never been so disturbed in my recent memory. And when I got out of my car, it was dark. I got home late, and I was chilled, terrified. I was waiting for someone to eat me. I was waiting for those hungry eyes of just madness and salivation to come get me because of just how amazingly poignant it was written. It was so well written. Miss Lisa C., you disturbed the heck out of me, and that is actually fairly hard to do because I'm a desensitized, immoral individual. But this cannibalism and starvation, the terror that Joy feels, and seeing little children waiting for their meal to die, to eat it, still racks me to my core. And it messed with me that entire night and the next day. And it was just so crazy. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is what like everybody else feels when I talk about my crazy writing, because I write horror. So I'm just like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry for everybody that I do this to on a regular basis. But I think about it, and as a writer, I loved it and I appreciate it. And I'm like, I have to harness this feeling and I have to channel it into my own writing so that I can disturb someone the way that I have been disturbed, which may or may not be a good thing, depending on what side of the fence you stand. And that scene still haunts me. And I want a copy of this book, not because the book is like the epitome to me, but for these couple of reasons, and to have that scene that jars me to my very core, that gives me chills and makes me feel terrified, and I want to vomit from how just emotional and horrifying it was to me. And it was so wonderfully done. You don't know famine and starvation until you read about these little kids that are waiting to eat another baby. You really don't. And the way it was done was so wonderful and disturbing. I sat in my library in my office and I'm just like, oh my gosh. And I was like telling everybody that would listen to me, like, I read the most disturbing scene ever, and nobody wanted to hear it. However, I did make a couple people sit there and listen to me because I had to share it with someone. I had to share it with people that knew me, and so they could understand just how terrifying it was for me to feel this amount of terror. Seriously, Exquisite Corpse. It was awesome to me. But this, to this moment, still terrifies me, and I love this feeling, and I want to recreate this feeling of disturbance for my readers that want to read my horror. And this just goes to show that you should never, ever not read something because it's just out of your genre. Because I've read quite a bit of horror that it's like, oh, hey, yeah, case in point, Exquisite Corpse. It has the most cannibalism I have ever read in my life. And yes, it's disturbing, really, really disturbing. But it didn't give me the chills that this scene did. It gave me other chills and other feels, which I will eventually review. But that scene was something otherworldly to me. And I want to thank Miss Lisa C for this experience that she gave me that I had not experienced in a very long time. So although this book had some pretty big downs for me, it had amazing highs. And I don't know if that balances it, if that makes it all worthwhile, but I guess it does, since I'm still thinking about that scene. So those are the things that really, really stuck out to me in the book. Let me know what stuck out to you in the book. If you want to discuss that scene, you'll know what it is when you see it. Let me know. It was really disturbing, and forewarning, it's a good book. It's a small epic. It has so much going on. It's very multifaceted, but that one scene might disturb you. If it doesn't, that's great, you know. Good for you. You're you're stronger than I am. But it might, and it comes not out of left field. I figured it would eventually get to that, but I just didn't expect it to hit me the way it did. And I loved every terrifying, horrifying, petrifying moment of it. So, on that note, that's it for this video. Let me know what your thoughts were. And thank you, be safe, and I'll catch you guys next time.